And it does the exact opposite of what Americans need right now. This is just another con game by the Democrats, calling something one thing and saying another.
Expired.
This is making the IRS, which
Gentlewoman's time has expired.
The Pentagon, the State Department,
gentlewoman is no longer recognized. The gentleman from Missouri reserves the ballot.
Mr. Speaker, how much time do you need?
The gentlewoman is no longer recognized.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. If it weren't so important to be humorous, unless you call it a massive failure, the only massive failure occurs in their thinking.
Boom! Doug Brandon hits Lauren Boebert right there to the best of his abilities. But anyway, with what he's got left, he's hitting her, both guns blazing a little bit. But there's Biden is being shown as he's, by the way, touring Lauren Boebert's district, talking about the Inflation Reduction Act. He's shown this video of her absolutely losing her mind over it. And never has the term gentle lady, there's been as much of a gap with the behavior. It's hard that she's dragged away from the pulpit. Look, if you want to point out armed robbery by the government on its citizens, you can come up with examples of that. I mean, the massive wealth transfer of those PPP loans to people like her and her colleagues that they didn't actually need. That's a massive armed robbery against the American people. I guess not armed, although they do have a military. But what she's talking about there is the IRS is getting guns. They're going to be coming to your house. So you should not be okay with the IRS being funded because they're going to come to your house. They're going to rob you. And she's being honest there. That's why she's against the funding for the IRS, not because she doesn't want the IRS to have the funding to go after the rich and actually conduct audits. By the way, it's been like 2 years now. Has the IRS gone to anyone's house with guns and robbed anyone? Because we were told that that was going to happen. Has that actually happened? It seems like it hasn't happened. But anyway, she necessarily opens herself up to a lot of mockery there. That said, I want to give Biden a little bit more of a chance to really like dig the needle in on what she actually believes about the IRA, because there's a little bit of hypocrisy there.
The idea that in our own district, we've created so many new good paying jobs. And by the way, it's generating economic growth across the board. And when people get a good job, what they do is they have an opportunity to spend on things that they're basic needs for themselves. And by the way, we cut the deficit by $7 billion in that first year, okay? The idea that she's talking about this being a massive failure, I don't get it. I don't know whether they just don't understand anything or whether or not they in fact are. I hope she comes back here and tells the people in this factory, the largest wind turbine factory in the world, that this is a massive failure. It's her district. Invite her to come back. Come back and tell the folks back home this is a massive failure. Tell the folks back home that all that we've done to generate economic growth is not worth it. And I'd like to ask her to explain how she supports not taxing billionaires more than 8%. I have trouble explaining it. But then again, I probably shouldn't waste my time trying to.
Well, if the goal is to explain it to her, then no, he should not waste his time. He does also have trouble explaining basically everything because he's just not, it's not there anymore. He doesn't have that juice. He's pointing out good facts there. It's just that he's not the person who should be really selling this thing. There are apparently in one wind turbine facility in her district, 850 new jobs. It is benefiting many Republican districts all over the country. That's the way it was set up to try to get them to support it in a futile effort because they can't do that federally. But that doesn't mean that they don't support it in some way. So I want to give you just one more clip. This is Pete Buttigieg pointing out a little bit more hypocrisy.
Representative Boebert has written letters of support for projects in her district to be funded with President Biden's infrastructure package that she didn't just vote no on, but referred to as garbage. That didn't stop her from saying that garbage, I guess, as she had called it, was going to be good for her district.
And if you are like a Republican or conservative watching this, I want you to really think about this and what it means. How often we see this play out where Republicans will try to block funding from going to the country. But the second it passes, instantly they're asking for it and then they're bragging about it. They'll be tweeting about, oh, this project I got from my district that I tried my damnedest to stop from happening. Those jobs, 850 jobs, she tried to stop them from being set up. But now that they're there, she does want some cred for it. And look, they're going to be hypocritical. It's on us to make sure that people understand that that's what they're doing. Viviana, I want to go to you. What do you think about Lauren Boebert in this issue?
Well, first of all, I want to apologize for that disruption. Lauren came over to borrow a cup of sugar, so it was a little bit of a ruckus if you heard that. No, just it was my dog barking.
No worries.
It's a dog barking. Anyway, she is unhinged. She is scary. And, we're in the middle of this thing right now where we're like Biden is holding on to the old style of government where you're just trying to be even-keeled. There's Lauren again. Sorry.
Congresswoman, go do your job.
I'm sorry.
Leave her alone.
Dog. John, you might have to, let me go grab him.
Okay, you grab him. Okay, so yeah, look, she is unhinged. And I think a little bit of it is true to her. A little bit of it is performative. She's supposed to have that sort of meltdown. So many of them did, lying about the IRS component of it, lying about the effect of the climate funding and all that. Oh, we've got an appearance, by the way, by a dog. Who is this dog, Viviana?
This is my new dog, John. I found him in the street. This is Cosmo.
Oh, Cosmo.
Here in Long Beach, they just gave me, so sorry about the disruption.
Cosmo's very cute. No worries.
Is now getting very comfortable and likes to bark at every dog walking by. But he's a very good boy.
Well, I'm excited to have Cosmo here because Cosmo now has an opportunity to learn a little bit about the IRA, which apparently a lot of dogs and humans don't know much about. And that's really why I want to talk about this, because there's polling showing that about 3/4, 71% of Americans said they've heard little or nothing about the IRA since it passed. And 57% say that they disapprove of Joe Biden's handling of climate policy, which I think those are related, but not necessarily the same thing there. Yes, he did pass the IRA. The IRA does do some things that would be good for the climate. You can acknowledge that and still be frustrated with some of the other things that he has had to say and do, both domestically and internationally when it comes to climate policy, drilling, those sorts of things. But it is a problem that his signature legislative achievement, now quite a bit of time has passed and most people haven't heard much about what it's done. And that doesn't mean that nothing has been done. There are plants that have been set up. There has been tens of billions of dollars of funding in a lot of this stuff. But people aren't hearing about it. And that's why he's out on tours like he's doing in Colorado right now. And obviously Colorado is an important swing state. But again, if he's the person that's delivering that message, is that really going to be an effective way? Like, we're covering it, but it's not like he's going to go viral off.
You hit the nail on the head, John. You hit the nail on the head. He's the wrong person to deliver the message. And this is the problem with the DNC is they keep wanting to push this and they have good programs and they have good information and they want to share it. But then they have this guy who is just not a good figurehead to deliver the information. So it's just passing over everybody's head. And it's hard to want to get behind him because he doesn't seem like he's even convinced that it's working. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I do like, this has probably been the best we've seen Joe Biden kind of respond to somebody like Lauren Boebert recently, because I like that he responded in an even keeled with kind of a chuckle because it's so ridiculous, her behavior. And we do need to get back to that. We need to acknowledge that some of this behavior on the right is so extreme and ridiculous that we kind of have to see it as what it is, like childish tantrums. Yeah. And, unfortunately, we do need to put more attention into the Inflation Reduction Act because it's a big thing and it affects a lot of people in this country. And these programs are going to help us. Why? Like you said, are Republicans so against programs like this? And then they run to be front of the line, to take the credit, to take the money. And then they go and claim to their constituents that they've been fighting for them the whole time. And in fact, we just see what her fighting is. Fighting to stop it is what they've actually been doing.
Yeah. Individually and as a party, that's what they're doing. And there's one other point I want to point out about this is that you have sort of like the true substantive on the ground effect of these policies, the jobs that they create, the money that's invested and all that. And then you have the political implications of the programs or of people's perception of the programs. So a lot of people haven't heard about, what has come of this bill. And then I want to give people sort of a case study of this. So I was just reading an article about how like $2 billion is allocated for funding electric vehicle chargers. And because of a whole bunch of bureaucracy and requirements and paperwork and blah, 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 apparently, while the money has been allocated in many cases to a number of different states, none of that direct money has resulted yet in an actual charger being built. And the thing is, Republicans are trying to stop that from actually happening. They're trying to delay until Donald Trump can become president again, and then they can kill the program so that those chargers never get set up. Now, are they doing that because they don't want people to see the effect of the programs? They don't want to have their ability to drive around a road trip or whatever with an EV become easier? Or is it just they think that ideologically they have to be against EVs, even though they worship Elon Musk at almost the same tier as Donald Trump? I don't know, but in either case, again, they want the money, but then they're trying to stop people from actually benefiting from it. And so there's sort of performative hypocrisy, but then there's also this really, I would say, subversive approach to infrastructure where they wasted their opportunity under Donald Trump to actually pass anything. And now that the Democrats are in, they're trying to stop it from actually helping people. And so both sides of that are incredibly frustrating.
Which is so weird because on the right, they're so like pro-American, pro-business, and I mean, we have an infrastructure that is crumbling in this country. We need to get together. We need to find some common ground. And I know, later on in the show, you're going to talk about somebody who might be running for president, who might be that common ground, for the right. There's a lot of people that don't like this extremism, like Lauren Boebert and the Marjorie Taylor Greens. They want someone who's more even keeled and not going to be flying off the handle just for show. I mean, we know she likes to put a good show up. You know what she did when she went and saw Beetlejuice? She said Beetlejuice too many times and now her head's spinning.
For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.